We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please, Ms. Worsler.
Here.
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 Present. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's start with celebrations tonight. I'm sorry. Let's start with approval of the agenda. Do you have a motion for approval of the
I
agenda?
move to approve the agenda as presented, please.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Hartwell, a second by Mr. Robertson. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Now we will move into celebrations. The first one we have is the Christmas of Hope. Thanks to the support of students, staff, and administrators from Joplin High School, Franklin Tech, and across the district, $5,500 was raised for the regional holiday fundraiser through Fostering Hope. This contribution will help bring joy and support to local foster children during the holiday season, many of whom are students in our own buildings. We are incredibly proud of the kindness, teamwork, and generosity shown by our school community. Special thanks to Mr. Lauren Curtis at Franklin Tech for organizing this meaningful fundraiser. Soaring Heights Food Drive. Students at Soaring Heights Elementary held a contest last month to see which class could bring in the most food items for KOAM's Feed the Four States Food Drive, and in total ended up with 6,000 food items to share with those in need around the community. Fifth grade students in Mr. Lovell's class won the competition by donating an incredible 2,270 items. Thank you for being great examples of generosity and teamwork, Eagles. Next, we are celebrating the middle school esports team. Our middle school players dominated the state esports competition last week. Not only are 4 players from the same school going to state, but they placed 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th out of all the middle school players in the whole state. Here are the results. 2nd, Carter Hannon. 3rd, Colton Staples. 4th, Jagger Jones. 5th, Anderson Fisher. Thank you to coaches Chandler Brower and Brock Compton for their guidance to success. Next, we are celebrating our teacher, Jenny Moore, who is this month's Teacher Proud Tuesday winner. Jenny teaches math at East Middle School and inspires her students and colleagues with her supportive methods. Some of the things said by the person that nominated her were, Ms. Moore is an innovative, creative, and hardworking math teacher. Her work ethic is staggering, and she expertly manages her classroom to handle behaviors and varying math skill levels, making math understandable and fun. She has even created sign language math tutorial videos for her deaf students. Congratulations, Jenny, and thank you for sharing your gifts with our Joplin students. And finally, work has begun at Jefferson, McKinley, and Royal Heights Elementary Schools, starting with Phase 1 improvement recommendations from the Long Range Facility Committee. These improvements will address special education spaces, early childhood spaces, and other suitable education spaces at 3 of the oldest elementary schools in our district. Here is a photo of students watching the progress start. And now we will have the student advisor report, Ms. Ransdell.
First off, I'm presenting on the winter sports. Joplin High is transitioning from its fall sports to its winter sports right now. The current records are 0-1 for girls wrestling, 1-0 for boys wrestling, 0-4 for girls basketball, and 3-1 for boys basketball. The freshman gauntlet. Fusion hosted its annual freshman gauntlet where Fusion leaders and their assigned freshmen got to bond and learn some team building exercises. This also allowed for the freshmen to get closer to the students in their transition classes, allowing them to branch out and make new friends. Christmas of Hope. Lauren Curtis, JHS's very own construction teacher, and his class teamed up with the student council to raise money for Christmas of Hope. This fundraiser is used to buy foster children Christmas gifts, whether it's toys or necessary items for personal hygiene that they wouldn't have otherwise. JHS and FTC raised $5,555 during this fundraiser, which was $555 over the goal. This is equal to supporting about 111 foster children. FCCLA in the community. JHS FCCLA members worked as bell ringers for the Salvation Army to help support their community. This is very good for students to learn the importance of contributing to their community, and we're very proud of these students for getting involved. One team, one vision. Members of the Joplin High School basketball teams visited Stapleton Elementary last week to read books and play games with the students. This is very impactful as the elementary students look up to the older kids and see what kind of leaders they want to be in the future. Thank you so much to the high school basketball team for being positive examples for the younger Eagles to look up to. Science research. JHS science research students got to go on a trip to Linda Hall Library in Kansas City early this month. They explored the rare books collection and uncovered new resources for their projects. This favorite annual stop gives students a wider view on what research can look like while building on the great work happening every day in Ms. Boyer's classroom.
Thank you. Superintendent's data report, Dr. Saketa.
Okay, every month we have a strategic focus, and Dr. Harding has one for us this evening.
Yes, so this month I will ask Eric Pitcher and some of his team members to come forward and give us an update and a presentation on what's going on in Joplin Schools Technology Department.
Yes, we're here to talk to you about the technology department and kind of a little bit of overview of the technology department and kind of what we accomplished this year. And the fact that we did a lot of this over the summer months, some of our vendors were really impressed with how the tech team jumped in and helped them. And they even one project they said usually takes over a year, but we did this all within the summer. So. This is us out there saving the world.
Said you on the left?
And this is what everybody thinks we actually do, like block them or play games or hiding under the desk, or Hunter's favorite thing, we got one when he's doing his fishing attacks. This is kind of what we actually do. One of the first steps, you know, it's comical, but it's true. You know, have you turned it off and turned it back on again? And Google is our friend, and now, you know, AI is. We look up for answers and stuff that we don't know, that we just have to figure it out. But that's basically us. This is the department overview. The Technology Service Department supports students, teachers, and staff members in their continual efforts to improve learning and instruction so that each stakeholder might thrive in a safe and stable digital environment. The department consists of 16 people, including myself. There's 9 building techs, which we've made 4 of them technology leads, which 2 of them are here tonight. And the networking staff is 3, data staff is 2, and then me and Gracie make up the administration staff.
So we provide support for just over 8,600 laptops, as well as lab devices, special use devices, instructional equipment, and IoT devices. This year, we purchased Chromebook device refresh for 2 grades, grades 6 and 9. And when those devices reach their use at those locations, they'll be waterfalled to other locations to fill down in other grades. We did 180 staff replacement devices this year through a grant that Eric got. And we hope to continue that refresh to ensure secure OSs and all the tools that staff need for their classrooms.
Over the summer, we used E-rate funds to be able to purchase over 90
switches and routers and 560 access points in order to keep connectivity within our district. During that, we went ahead and took that opportunity to re-IP, re-VLAN, re-subnet, and secure our network in order to gain performance, gain security, and gain scalability of our network. Basically, in short, we soup to nuts restarted our network from scratch. From that, just wanted to thank a few people, wanted to thank the infrastructure team, including Morgan and Bryce, the techs who are running around helping recable some of our closets that just needed to be reorganized. Mr. Pettit and facilities felt like they were a part of our team and they were with us the entire way. Third parties, our cameras with TEC, Train at HVAC, Adira helped design and rack and stacks at the switches and some of the APs. John Johnson, who helped with phones, and other people that I already forgot. Dr. Harding and Dr. Saketa for helping us and supporting us throughout this project. It's just been one of the most humbling experiences of my life, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
It was one of Hunter's first major projects, and this is the one we did in about 2.5 months. When we switched did a lot of that stuff.
So we've also,
with that, we have a couple different tools. This is outside of the network, line-wise and class-wise. We use these tools to filter out kids playing games and distractions in the classroom. Also some monitoring for student safety, even once they get home. And Mimecast, which we use to both protect and educate our users. It helps keep bad phishing emails out, and the ones that it doesn't, we're able to send out education, whether that be direct phishing attacks towards our users or little videos that they can answer so we can get a baseline of where we are security-wise.
In the last year, we've also tried to increase our PD offerings to staff through staff meetings, things like cybersecurity, just easy reminders when we can fit in time that the buildings allow us. We offered a Joplin Connect session last year, kind of a fun technology escape room, and we proposed 3 more sessions today, hopefully to get those approved to offer some more stuff for the upcoming sessions.
And some of the buildings have started to send out email tech tips, and so we just try to keep people informed, or some stuff they could do in the classroom to help with the Chromebooks or with their laptops. This year, go ahead.
We also, over the summer, along with the network refreshed 50 multifunction printers across the district, put them all into paper cut, and use the Follow Me printing system that allows easy pickup and print management. And we also closed total from December 1st to December 1st, 8,719 tickets.
No questions.
Any questions or anything?
I don't have a question, but I want to say thank you for what you do. It truly touches every person in the district, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you.
Yes, big thank you to the security of the district. It's a big deal. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to add is what people may not realize is almost everything we do in the district runs through technology, whether it's kid account for parents coming to our schools, whether it's the cameras on the buses, like almost everything we do runs through the technology department one way or the other. So it's very important. Couldn't do it without them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So because of the construction that started in phase one, Board of Education, we will have a monthly construction update for some time in the future. So tonight's our first construction update.
So yes, I'd like to ask Aaron Height with Crossing Construction and Chad Greer, nice try, with Corey Greer to come up for the first of what's hopefully many construction updates in the future.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
So at the beginning of every construction project, we work with you guys. I always ask Dave Pettit to take care of the weather. So far, he's done a great job. So that being said, we've been able to pour a lot of concrete and get the project started, all three of them. So Jefferson, we actually poured the south pad, building pad today. And because of the weather, we don't even have to cover it with concrete blankets. So it's pretty amazing weather for this part of this time of the year. That being said, we're going to pour second pad, which is in the north side of the building. We're going to pour that next week. So all the concrete pads will be poured by the end of next week before Christmas. That being said, McKinley is underway as well. They're working on footings now, hoping to pour those by first part of next week. The slab will be poured right after the new year. Royal Heights is a little bit further behind. They're going to get started with footings next week, pour their slab by the middle part of January. Also on Jefferson, you'll be able to see masonry going up starting beginning of this coming week. So before Christmas, you'll see the building going up. That's it for now.
Yeah, so just wanted to give you a quick update on some of the additional phase work because of where the bids came in. We've been doing some additional work at the schools. Right now, we're about 65% complete with the corridor work. Royal Heights has been issued. Jefferson will be issued in early January, and then McKinley will be issued at the end of January. And that will take care of that additional work that we're doing at those three elementary schools. Additionally, we have since updated window packages for McKinley, Royal Heights, and Jefferson. So I think you're in the process of getting those.
Yeah, we're looking for numbers by the first of the year.
So we're still tracking very well with schedule relative to those additional items. So thank you.
Aaron, question. When do we anticipate all of the buildings being out of the ground and then you starting to move inside? It sounds like you're moving very quick to get them up out of the ground.
We
When
are.
will-
There
when
could
will we see your ability to
potentially
move
be a
inside?
slight delay in bar joists, metal building. So the roof structure may take a little bit longer than expected. Otherwise, to answer your question, Jefferson will probably be in the March realm, followed by McKinley, and then followed by Royal Heights. So with all three being in the dry, I would say by 1st of April.
And
you.
still on schedule to have completion
Absolutely.
before the next
Yes.
school year, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay.
Very good.
Thank
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You guys.
Okay, we have financial statements followed by the health and dental plan. Dr. Dickey.
Okay, for the financial statements, we have in our miscellaneous accounts at UMB, we have a little over 121,000. In our general investment and debt service, a little over 5 million, maintaining a little over 87.3 million invested with MOSIP and MOCAT. We are on track with where we wanted to be at this point in the school year. I'm happy with how the budget is looking. You all are going to hopefully approve the audit tonight, and so that you will see this sheet that's up on the screen right now become the audited financials as opposed to the budget approved financials. And so everything becomes final tonight, and we will be filing the rest of our audit paperwork with everybody for our bonding agencies, with the state. There's a lot of places we have to get that uploaded to starting tomorrow and in the paper. And we're also entering the point in the year when tax revenues are starting to come in. And so we've received our first checks from Jasper and Newton County, but the large checks will be starting to come in as folks pay their property taxes. And so we're entering the point in the year where you're going to see us, our most to liquid with the most cash in the bank. And so we will, as quickly as we can, be investing that to follow our cash flow plan so that we can make the most use of liquid cash while we have it and earn some interest off of our funds. And so we'll be getting that squared away in the coming weeks. Any questions on financials? Okay. Health and dental, it's the 5th month of the fiscal year as of November 30. And so we had spent right at 40 of the total budget, a little over 4.3 million. Total revenues for the healthcare plan were 721,000 and total disbursements 573,000. Something to keep in mind is when you look at that, the big sheet with the health plan over 2 years, you will notice that there was not an insurance premium paid for stop loss. And so we had renegotiated some of that. And so we didn't, when we paid it for November, the check went out December 1. And so it's not on the November financials. It's still been paid and taken care of, but we were doing a little work behind the scenes there. So you can expect to see double that premium coming up in December, but we were able to do a little work and get that premium down a little bit. Balance as of November 30 was 581,000 and some change, which represents about 0.84 months of the 12-month average of claims. And so we've seen that climb up the last couple months. It's been a slow increase. At the end of November in 2024, the balance was 2.3 million. And so we know that we still have a long way to go, but we are making very small gains. There were no pharmacy rebates coming in November. We did receive a little over 73,000 in stop loss reimbursements, and we are still pending 198,000 in stop loss checks coming in. It has all been filed for, and we check every day to see when that's coming in from Granular, but we do anticipate that revenue hitting soon. For dental, total revenue for dental was 32,000 and some change, and ending balance as of November 30th was 222,000. And that represents about 21.8 months of premiums paid. And as you know, we are spending down the dental fund. And I'm happy to answer any questions about the health fund.
Dr. Dickey, once we file a stop loss claim, do they have a certain amount of time before they have to pay it?
A lot of times when I go through them and I can see that they have been filed, a lot of times we will see them within the month. The last payment that we're looking to get in is a large one is 195,000, and then there's like a small $3,000 claim. For those larger claims, they asked our HR department for some additional documentation. And so the Ariana, our benefits coordinator, worked with Justin, and all of that was turned in, and it has been filed. And it's so due to the nature of that large claim, there was some additional paperwork that needed to be processed. So it is taking longer than our other claims that from where I'm seeing file to payment date. But I do check on it about every week and try to get a new printout of where we're at with things. Have reported that they have everything they need. It's in process to pay.
Dr. Dickey, question. Last month I asked, how long has it been since we have gone out to bid for our insurance broker, specifically Barker Phillips Jackson?
Okay. The district interviewed and accepted RFQs for benefits brokers and consultants in February of 2018. And so the contract with Barker Phillips Jackson went into effect October 1, 2018.
Do we anticipate the district looking to change our insurance broker potentially, or looking at our options?
I think especially this year, we have been looking at every option. As far as an official decision to put out another request for quotes, that official decision has not been made. When it comes to benefits brokers and consultants, there's not a statutory or board policy cycle that we work on. It's just annually been reviewed and updated, and we've maintained our relationship with Barker Phillips Jackson. So we certainly would act at the direction of the board, and then we can have some internal leadership discussions. But as of this moment, there is not anything on the calendar to go out for bid.
It would be my preference personally that we would ask for an RFQ for this item moving forward in the coming year, not only because of we understand, at least I understand and recognize that we have had very much an outlier for health insurance over the past year, and that's to no fault of any brokerage firm or others. But what I would say is that it is probably best practice, in my opinion, for us to at least place an RFQ again into the market to ask individuals to come forward to bring their best plan for our staff.
And I would agree with you that the situation we're in has given us a lot of reasons to be reflecting and reviewing our internal practices and procedures. And Justin and I have both been in pretty constant communication with our broker, but also just internally with Dr. Saketa, and we've been talking through the health plan over the years since 2018. And I know that it is on a future work session agenda, and we are preparing some more in-depth financials to look at balances over time and work with the HPAC to see what's our methodology for determining rate increases, and then shoring up some of our practices as far as broker relationships and commissions and approving all of those things.
It's been my concern, obviously, everything when we're working through it over the past, at least my 5 years on the board. I've been advised by Ms. Brummett that our health plan has been in relatively good shape. And it appears that obviously now we have heightened awareness of some of the deficiencies that are there. And I was proud as a board member to not raise those rates, but I do know that our employees are facing a significant increase next year, as many people across the United States are, and including myself personally. But I just want to be able to put us in the best situation. And if it is with these individuals, then great. But I'd like to do our due diligence to say that we did so moving forward into the coming years. And I know you do that every day, but these are the individuals who are advising us. And I want to put us in the best possible position we can be to be able to advocate for our staff every day.
We had an insurance committee that met last year. How often does that meet? Is that an annual?
HPAC?
Yeah.
How often
Quarterly.
do we? Quarterly? Yeah, it's like we meet pretty regularly.
With our teachers though, and I think we reviewed that a year ago and they were part of that recommendation. Was that last year? I believe they did. How often
The
did you do
HPAC
that?
has, the HPAC has teachers on it.
Yeah, HPAC has the teachers on it, and they are who, they come to the board meeting annually once a year, but we have them together anytime we're making a decision, at least quarterly. But Brock Compton is the president, and so we've had some other, we just try to stay in communication with him so that they are aware of what's happening, and we provide them with updates.
Yeah, but Riley, to your point, I mean, we had a meeting about, I don't know, was it 5-6 weeks ago, where we
Yes.
walked through, and, you know, I do this in our business, so I walked through the various components of healthcare and what it costs and why, and what the relationship should be between a school district and a broker and the insurance company. And so I think in a preparation to what you're suggesting, and I certainly don't disagree with that, but you have to have a clear line of sight on what your costs are, what you're paying for, and a blend of a blend of a blend is also known as mush. Good luck figuring that out, and we have a little bit of that. So there's a little piece of unbundling, so we have clear line of sight on costs and cost structures is very important, and how you manage the various buckets once you have them unbundled. So I think we'll probably have a follow-up that we'll have as a follow-up discussion, because there were some action items that came out of that, you know, because there's two things that happen. There's obviously the cost of claims, but there's also, you know, how are you managing that, and what are the fees that you're paying related to and around that. So I think, you know, once we get to the end of that exercise, that really sets the table for going out for an RFQ if you want to move forward with that, because you'll have a clear line of sight on your costs, which is what you should have.
Right.
And I think that the fact that we had an exorbitant amount of claims that recently happened, where we had, you know, really healthy balances, something I think as a board we've looked at very closely over the last couple of years, but we had some high claims, which is kind of forced the microscope a little bit on this. Not a bad thing either. You know, it's a good course of business to do that. So I think at the end of that, we're probably going to get a better position as we look forward on that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and I think that ultimately, as I serve as the district CFO, it's important to me that while we do have a third-party broker, it's important to me that that the district is heavily involved in the methodology for setting the rates, and that we own it, and it's the district's health fund. And so we are working very hard to ensure that The district has a very strong voice in how we're managing the health fund, and we have a strong understanding of the ins and outs and the negotiations that take place, and that we understand everything that's happening. And we do trust our relationship with the broker, but it's also important that we analyze rates that are being brought to us, stop loss options, and making the best decision for the district.
We are in the show me state, so as long as they're always showing us we have a clear line of sight, then yes, I trust them also.
John, I would agree with your statement. All I'm asking is that we as a board move forward with some type of due diligence on our part as well, to suggest that if these individuals that we've retained since 2018 are in fact the best option to manage and advise us in terms of our health plan, as Dr. Dickey and Mr. Crawford works with those individuals every day, I am more than happy moving forward with them. But I do believe that 2018 is an awfully long time, and that it would be probably best that we move forward to show our patrons, the people that we serve, that we are working very hard to make sure that this is the best possible plan for them as our employees.
Agreed, yeah.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Worsler, are there any public comments? Thank you.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Weaver, a second by Ms. Schroeder. Please vote.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Regular agenda, accounts payable, Dr. Dickey.
Okay, the bill list totals $9,857,378.69. The comparison is before you, along with some explanations that were provided for you as far as some differences that you might note between fiscal year 25 and 26, with some, both of the cycles from 25 and 26 show 2 check cycles, but with property closings and some capital improvements and other purchases throughout the district, it accounts for the differences that you're seeing. Happy to answer any accounts payable questions. And the district is fully staffed in accounts payable again. And so we are excited to let you know that our finance department is fully staffed again.
A motion to approve the accounts payable.
I would make a motion that we approve the accounts payable as presented by Jordan.
A motion by Mr. Hurd, a second by Mr. Robertson. Please vote.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, the audit, Dr. Dickey.
Okay, you each were provided with a hardbound copy of the audit, as well as the digital items were provided to you ahead of time for your review. This is, again, the anomaly, and hopefully it never happens again, where you hear the presentation from the auditor one month and then approve it the next. But nothing has changed other than the single audit was released. All the things that we needed, the supplement was released and finalized, and so they have removed the draft watermark, and the audit is ready for your approval.
I'd like to just mention that an audit that is clear in all material aspects is what we have, and that's the best you can get from auditors. Yep. So I think that says a lot about you and your department, and thank you for all of your work in our internal accounting.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and we appreciate your support, and Shelley Toft certainly led the finance department well for several years, and so this is in paper, in black and white, evidence of the work that she completed.
Thank you.
Move that we approve the audit.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weaver, a second by Ms. Musser. Please vote.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, Dr. Mwangi, JHS FTC new course proposals.
Yes, and I have several friends coming up to join me. So Dr. Hill, Dr. Oliver, Ms. Storton, Mr. Fent, come on down. Some exciting times at Joplin High School and FTC. So this is the time of year, anything we're thinking or considering for next year, we bring forward to you. So there's really 3 parts to this evening. That's why there's so many of them joining me, because we've been working on this for quite some time. The first one, I'll have Dr. Hill kind of give a math proposal update. This is a lot of some data digging. And then we'll move into our health science and then end with our human service academy updates for what we have for you tonight.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start. Our math team, we would like to propose 2 new courses, one for next year, and then kind of it helps to explain the entire plan for one for the following year. If you want to go to the next slide on that one. Thank you. So we are wanting to get rid of or reconvene our Algebra 1A, which is what some students take their freshman year, and then they take Algebra 1B their sophomore year. We want to drop both of those and put all students in Algebra 1. With the mindset that, yes, students still need some support. So our new course would be Math Mastery. So kind of the vision here is that students will enroll in Algebra 1, and those students that still continue to struggle in Algebra 1 will be placed in an elective course called Math Mastery. That course will be solely for students that need almost like a tier 3 intervention period. The content won't be new. They'll be learning the same content that they've been taught in their class. It'll give them an opportunity to retake tests, to get intervention on tests, et cetera. And so that will be, and it'll also be a very small group setting. And it'll be fluid. So if a student is struggling with a specific unit, they take it semester to semester. In addition, we'd have an Algebra 1 resource class for special education students that would struggle in a regular Algebra 1 course. We currently do not offer that. And so Math Mastery would be the new course that we'd be proposing tonight. And then, so that would get rid of Algebra 1A for next year. All 8th grade students this year would take Algebra 1 for next year. But then the following year, we currently have students in Algebra 1A that will need to take Algebra 1B next year. So in 2 years from now, which if you could go to the next slide, we would get rid of the Algebra 1B and offer a consumer math course. This would be for your non-college bound, non-traditional students that need that 3rd math credit, because normally they would take Algebra 1A, Algebra 1B. So now we're limiting them 1 math credit. So consumer math is going to take place instead of like a Algebra 2 or trigonometry, which would be more an advanced class. Consumer math, the goal of it would be to teach them more hands-on math, life skills math, kind of a personal finance math aspect to it. And so that would be offered not next year, but the following year. And then the last slide kind of outlines just different math pathways depending on the student, very fluid. There is a flex portion to this. I skipped it, sorry. But there is a flex course that they have proposed to add as well to help with this, because they offer the Algebra 1A, Algebra 1B track as well. And so sometimes when students join flex, they have they have 0 math credits. And so they're going to add a math class back as well.
So I'd entertain any questions first specific to math courses, and then we'll move on to our health and human service.
Okay, so the question, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The question I had is, all of our students are required to take personal finance, which is a half credit class, correct?
Yes.
Is this the same class as that?
No, it will just have more of like a life skills math application. So consumer math is a course that other schools teach as well, but things like shopping at the grocery store, making a grocery list, more life skills math as opposed to like trigonometry and Algebra 2.
How is it different than the personal finance class that they are all required to take already?
The personal finance is embedded within Freshman 101, so they'll do a lot of that coursework completely separate from a mathematics class.
And it doesn't
It's
count
embedded
as
within
math.
that class.
Okay.
It counts as a math credit, yes.
The personal finance counts as
Yes,
a math?
I'm
The
sorry.
consumer.
Personal finance account, I'm sorry.
Does not.
There is a credit embedded within Freshman 101.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
you bet.
So if they don't pass Algebra 1 and they have to take the consumer math class, is that, don't all high schoolers have to pass Algebra 1 for state requirements?
Yes, the Algebra 1 is the freshman level class, and then they would take geometry as a sophomore, and then consumer math would be a 3rd level junior senior math, because they have to have 3 math credits. We felt like there are some students that wouldn't be successful. If we take away Algebra 1A, 1B, and geometry, that's the normal path for students that struggle in math. We're taking one of those credits away. So we needed another math class that was still going to meet that student body population. And so that's where the consumer math comes in. So they're still passing Algebra 1, then they take geometry, and then consumer math would be the 3rd.
Okay.
And I will just comment on the Algebra 1A and 1B. We've been doing some pretty heavy data analysis on this the past several years. You're basically taking content for kids who may have difficulty with math concepts, and you're just expanding it and testing them year 2 over content they started in year 1. So this is taking the similar concept, but it's putting it into a single year. So you're taking Algebra 1 But within Algebra 1, we're giving you an intervention elective credit to get that math mastery support. So it's basically double dosing students. So we're actually anticipating that our success rate of Algebra 1 is going to increase with this approach.
Are there other schools doing something similar?
Yes, I came from Nixa, and that's kind of where my idea came from.
Great.
We don't usually acknowledge Nixa, so I apologize.
Well, as long as they're doing good work. Well,
There's a school that does it not
I
to be.
think probably, and I don't put words in your mouth, but I would imagine you came to this conclusion because you have some kids, hey, math's great. I have a couple of my kids fabulous at it. And I had one who was, she might as well speak a different language, didn't get it. So that third math class becomes insurmountable for them, right? So, so you're saying, hey, we'll go with this other course over here for maybe those that aren't college bound, so they still get their third math, and the other ones will continue on as they have. Is that kind of the genesis where you came up with this?
And I think the consumer math piece, the key word is going to be practicality. And so these kids that may not be on a college-bound track for math, how do we attach the math skills that we're introducing them to in a very practical way? It's going to have some embedded pieces naturally with your personal finance crossover. I think you'll see some of that, but it's going to go a lot deeper than what they're doing.
Good, great.
Thank you.
Okay, we will.
Just one clarification. So the consumer math is going to replace the Algebra 2 that college-bound students might be taking.
Yes, not necessarily replace, like we'd still offer Algebra 2, but it's an option for us students in addition to Algebra 2.
Not
Yeah.
replace, I use
Yeah,
the
okay.
right, but for students who
Yes.
go from their Algebra 1 to geometry,
Yes.
who could not go on to Algebra 2. I used to have a few of those.
Yes.
This would give them that option.
Yes.
And then we also have students who are at Franklin Tech who are receiving math credit
Embedded credit.
through their Franklin Tech programs. So we're covering all our bases. I love this. I love that we're getting rid of the Algebra 1A and 1B.
Thank you.
Math team has done some heavy lifting.
There's 3 years of math required for graduation.
Yes.
Correct.
So this is good.
Yeah.
Good option.
Still meeting all the requirements.
It's 3 years in high school,
Yes.
Correct.
while in high school at Joplin.
So if a student takes Algebra 1 in 8th grade,
They-
they still have to take
Correct.
Algebra 2, or that take 3 credits more scratching.
Correct.
Which they're going to take the algebra in 8th
Yeah.
grade, they're going to advance.
They're wanting to get into trig and calc. Absolutely. Okay, we will move into health science next, if that's okay. I've asked Eric to pull up the diagram. I think it's probably the easiest way to explain this. So I will let these lovely administrators explain the adjustment. This is really just trying to improve current pathways that we offer. So I'll let them dig into specifically, we're going to focus on that nursing allied health pathway.
So in our nursing pathway, we've added a few courses, one of those being at that second year, that sophomore level called fundamental. It will teach a lot of like medical terminology and things to prepare students for later on in their further nursing classes. And then that third level class, we currently have an intro to med science that students take, but they don't get a certification through that class. And so we want to increase the opportunities for students to get those certifications and maybe get out to work a little earlier. So we are looking to add the clinical medical assisting where they get their certified clinical medical assistant certification. And then their senior year, they would have those 3 options to take that phlebotomy course, which we already offer, our CNA course, which we currently already have, and then I will let Nathan talk about the dental assisting.
Yeah, so dental assisting is kind of a collaboration with our current adult ed dental assisting program. That's one, if you recall, last year we put on pause and did a program redesign. And so with the redesign of that program, we're offering 2 cohorts this year and with some creative scheduling can offer that in a way that our fall cohort can be conducive to high school seniors in a partnership with Missouri Southern. So it's still housed on the Missouri Southern campus, kind of in collaboration, obviously with the adult ed program, but with the dental hygiene program, some opportunities to collaborate with them for students who see that dental hygiene as a pathway and have some early conversations with KCU and kind of it'll end in a dental assisting certification, but kind of a broad view of dental careers for students, which really isn't an option for them currently.
That would also allow us, so the two courses, the clinical medical assisting and the dental assisting, would allow us to get our expansion points for MSIP as well. Because every year we need to look at what CT expansion are we offering? Is that an internship, apprenticeship, a whole program? So that would allow us to meet that requirement to help us in that realm as well.
And I'll just say, bringing Nathan on board on the FTC adult side, this partnership, these three are together quite a bit. They spend a lot of time. And so really what they've done with this work, and we've met several times over this, is taking what we currently do, how can we make it better through natural transitions? And so the dental assisting, we're not sure how many students will be interested, but it's an option they haven't had before to be able to graduate with that experience. I think some of our kids will be excited about that opportunity.
And I'll add that, we already have a full-time instructor on the adult side. It's not adding an instructor. We've got the facility. So it's really a no-risk opportunity to be able to add and see, even if a couple students take advantage of it, we can support them.
So just some small tweaks to the courses above, and then that dental assisting is a new opportunity for us. Any questions about the health science pathway? No risk on that one. Then we'll transition into some discussions on the human service side. So within the human service diagram updates that we're at tonight, within the academy work that we have been doing, the public safety is one we haven't really had a pathway recently. If you go back many years ago, we entertained the public safety. Marta's nodding her head, so she probably remembers this. And so what we're going to talk you through tonight is a proposal for us. Really, we want to get the courses approved, but really what we're doing from here is this an opportunity that we need to dig further in bringing on an FTE for this type of pathway? So I'll let them kind of talk through. There's been a lot of background work that has happened for this particular pathway. And so I'll let them talk through it, but that'll be your far right pathway of public safety we're looking to add.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work with Chief Pearson in our police department, partnering with him. We actually went through Leadership Joplin together. And then one day we were just visiting after the course had completed with Leadership Joplin. And I said, what can we do? How can we partner in creating some opportunities for kids? And his immediate response is, you're not going to believe this. I was just talking with somebody just the other day that we need to figure this out. So that's where this brainstorm really started. And what we really tried to do was create opportunities for kids from the time they graduate till the time they would go into the police academy. That was our initial thought. Since it's changed quite a bit, but that was our initial goal, was from the time kids graduated 18, how can we fill that gap of 3 years before they can go to the academy? That was kind of the premise. And so we really started to develop and look at this new pathway with public safety. And we want to it really is no risk again, because we're going to provide the opportunity. We're going to see what enrollment does, and that's going to help drive if this is going to be necessary. But Casey and I and Nathan, we've all visited the police station and had several meetings with those folks. And then we also toured the dispatch room. And those people are working 60, 70, 80 hours. So that was a natural transition that we really have tried to focus on in terms of getting kids opportunities upon graduation before they would be eligible for the academy. If they go through this pathway, if we develop these pathways, these courses, a couple new programs along the way. But if they go through that, then they would have an exit strategy before they would become a law enforcement, or maybe they work in the jail, or whatever they would want to do. But we would provide them many opportunities within this pathway, from emergency management, police officer, corrections officer, and then a dispatcher. So we really want to expand this. We want to offer these courses, but it will also create a couple, the new CTE program for them. And I'll let Nathan or Casey kind of outline what that looks like.
Don't both of you speak
I
at
guess
once.
just through our CT side of things. There are several associated IRCs with that. One of those is that 911 telecommunications, which would meet the need of our local dispatch or any of our area agencies as well. CPR, first aid would be an IRC, as well as Stop the Bleed. And then there's a test called a MOLESC, and it's in association with what it takes to do a specific traffic stop and how to talk to people appropriately as a police officer. Just some of those introductory things that they would probably experience as soon as they go to the police academy as well. So just provides them some of those credentials that they could attain while they're still in high school. And then even we have that senior year that some of those students may be out. If they're ready, they may be working as a 911 telecommunicator. They may be working as a jailer because they can do internships in those areas as soon as they probably turn 18 and they have to wait till then. But they could have that opportunity as a senior.
And I'll just add, there's a lot of opportunity for dual credit opportunities for students through the criminal justice coursework. And my familiarity with that is from when I was my time at Crowder College. And so we had a high school program with a lot of opportunity for dual credit and those pathways. We've also had a lot of conversations around the 911 dispatching, maybe, and this is kind of outside of what we're talking about today, but opportunities to offer that through on the adult education side too, and have some additional opportunities for the community in those career pathways.
Yeah, they've been really great at trying to find just maximizing all of our programming, whether it be FTC, JHS, FTC adult. So what you're seeing with these different pathways goes back to the root of the academy work, which is helping students explore opportunities, everything leading to an industry recognized credential or a dual credit. So we're either sending you, if you're going to the workforce, we're getting those industry credentials for you, or if you're heading into college, then we can give you those pathways as well.
Thank you. Ms. Sherrick, I move to approve the proposed courses for the 2026-2027 school year, please.
Second. A motion by Mr. Hartwell, a second by Ms. Schroeder. If there are no questions, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Nathan, you don't get to leave yet.
All right. Next is
Or
the
Casey. Or Casey.
Net Lab Plus purchase for Franklin Tech.
We're going to wait on tech services to come up here.
So this is another team effort. I'll let them speak. I helped manage the grant and get the grant dollars, and they're the experts on how this will be utilized.
So this is part of another enhancement grant purchase through the state that would be that 75% state match. And then we have a local 95% for the purchase of this. We had budgeted out $70,000, so we came in at around $5,000 less than that for the total. This purchase is called NetLab, and it's a networking system, and you're going to hear me speak tonight, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, which is why I have this guy up here, because I'm not very knowledgeable in networking and computer technology. So it just provides a system for our district network to stay safe. It's a separate network structure within our own that allows kids to operate and do things that if they did that without that safe space, they could cause some major damage to our school infrastructure. So it gives kids the opportunity to do some of the things they need to do to troubleshoot, so that then they can hopefully either come work for us or go be successful somewhere else in some of those fields.
So just to add on to that, essentially what it is, there will be 32 cores. So you can have up to 32 students working at one time. And a student logs into that core. They would have curriculum that the teacher would assign to them. It could be A+, it could be CCNA, Net Plus, any number of hands-on activities that go with that curriculum. And those activities maybe would not necessarily be easy to do or safe outside of that contained core. If that core messes up, a teacher can just reload it. No harm, no foul, and they can proceed with their activity. So it gives them a great tool to work hands-on pretty efficiently, and it's easy for the teacher to set up while also protecting our infrastructure as well.
Anyone have questions?
How many students are going to take advantage of this when we get it deployed this year? Or is it this year or is it next year?
It should be deployed at some point within the school year. We can have 32 students at a time take advantage of this.
But how many do we have active in the CIS program now?
There's around 60 students.
60, okay, all right. And will adult education be able to use that as well, or is this just high school?
We don't currently have any computer information coursework on the adult side.
How much do we do hands-on versus putting them in front of a screen all day long? Is there more interaction between the teacher and the students, or is it basic the students sit in front of a computer most of the day?
They have a networking. This is one of those things again. They have a networking room where they practice all the cabling management and changing of their different servers in there. Mr. Brown could probably explain what those things specifically are for me.
They have their own rack room with patch panel and some switches and stuff. And so what this would allow them to do is they can physically manage that closet, but this would say, if I wanted to configure this model switch, I can do that virtually. If I make a mistake, I just reload that instead of I have to reload this entire switch, which might affect other functions of that class at the same time. So it could affect other students.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like in programming and some of those things that we do more than you come in, and because I know we've got several types of classes going on at once. And so I think that there's value in students doing more than coming in and being in front of the computer the whole day and then leaving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Are there any ongoing costs with this? Will we add additional certifications or licensing requirements every year, or?
So there is an annual subscription fee. It'll be about $3,000 a year after this initial investment. That again is one of those things that it will be eligible for enhancement grant each year if we want to keep it on there for a 50% match. But there would be about a $3,000 annual renew software license fee. So
I would make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
A motion by Mr. Weaver, a second by Mr. Robertson. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we have Dr. Saketa with a resolution for a special election on general obligation bonds.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you.
Ms. Sherrick. As we know, and we've talked about it several times over the last couple years, we have done an extensive review of the district's facilities and needs assessment of what we need to make sure that we have suitable educational facilities all throughout the district. And we made a particular focus on our elementary schools, and that's a big part of what we're going to talk about tonight. We've also looked at the athletic needs, and we've also looked at the instructional support needs throughout the district, as well as our support staff, and to make sure that we can adequately continue on with providing the best opportunities for our students all the way through. The 2025 long-range facility plan was adopted by the board, and we've looked at different options to run a school bond, and we've discussed that, and it's come to our conclusion that for us to move forward with phase 2, to give us the best opportunity to address all those needs, that a bond election would be most appropriate in April. The stakeholder voice has been significant. The Long Range Facilities Committee, staff and students, our financial advisor, the district administration, the Board of Education has talked about this extensively. I want to say thank you to CGA and Crossan for the work they're doing on phase one and the ideas and thoughts that they put out to help us for phase two. I would like to read a resolution and just a bit of it and what would be on the ballot if the board so chooses to move that direction tonight. A resolution calling a special election on general obligation bond question in Joplin schools. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of Joplin Schools as follows. The Board of Education of Joplin Schools, the district, finds it necessary and hereby declares its intent to borrow $40 million for the purpose of constructing, improving, repairing, remodeling, furnishing, and equipping new and existing school facilities, including but not limited to improvements at Stapleton, Eastmoreland, Cecil Floyd, Kelsey Norman, McKinley Heights, and Jefferson Elementaries, construction of an indoor education and activity facility at Joplin High School, and improvements at Jung campus, collectively the project, and to evidence such borrowing by the issuance of general obligation bonds, the bonds of the district, in the amount of $40 million. And in your action item, the question is as it would read: for voters, shall Joplin Schools of Jasper and Newton County, Missouri issue its general obligation bonds in the amount of $40 million for the purpose of constructing, improving, repairing, remodeling, furnishing, and equipping new and existing school facilities, including but not limited to improvements to Stapleton, Eastmoreland, Cecil Floyd, Kelsey Norman, McKinley, Rural Heights, and Jefferson Elementaries, construction of an indoor education and activity facility at Joplin High School, and improvements at Jung campus. The authorization of the bonds is expected to result in no tax rate increase, and the district's current debt service tax levy, which is 0.7616 per $100 of assessed valuation, is estimated to remain unchanged. That is what's before you this evening. I would entertain any questions that you may have for the administrative team, if there are any, or any comments.
I think what you read, Kerry, is alignment of the board and everybody that has been a stakeholder in this, so I appreciate that. On the report of the superintendent to the school board under item D, I would ask that we would strike Piper Sandler Financial Advisor as a stakeholder. They are not a stakeholder. They're an advisor on bonding capacity, but they are not a stakeholder in anything we do in the Joplin School District. I think everybody else that you've outlined in there, clearly they are all stakeholders, and I think of stakeholders as people that have skin in the game. And that's why I would ask that we just move Piper Sandler off of that, because that's not what their role is in this capacity.
I would agree with Mr. Hurd in that assessment. In addition to that, I want to say thank you to the individuals over numerous boards, previous and current, as well as those individuals who have worked on this as our employees, our administration, our parents, our teachers, our students, and all who have spent hours on doing a lot of work on this project. And we're very happy for those people. So having said that, I would move to approve the attached resolution and instruct the secretary of the board to file the proper instruments of notification with the clerks of Jasper and Newton counties to approve a bond resolution for the April 7, 2026 election.
Second.
And just a point of clarification, do we need to take a vote to pull Piper Sandler off the stakeholder part of that? Do we need to vote? Is that as a board?
I'd amend my motion, less Piper Sandler Financial Advisor, under stakeholder voice on the action item.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Hartwell, a second by Mr. Hurd. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And we look forward to a lot more work ahead of us. This is the good part, and we're excited about it. So thank you very much, Board of Education.
Next, we have approval of the school calendar.
On that high note, let's talk about the school calendar. Okay, so I put it in the action item. When we went through to put together next year's school calendar, we got really excited because we had almost a week between school ending and summer school. We were getting out at a pretty good time. And Julie Munn and I were looking at it, and she said, Sarah, Labor Day isn't until September 7th. We have to go 2 weeks back. We were starting too early in our initial draft. So within the statutory requirements, we cannot start school 2 weeks before Labor Day. So we cannot even start before August 24th. How next year's calendar falls, it is really not our preference, to be 100% honest, but it is what it is. We are also a municipality of 30,000 or more. We are required to go 169 days. We create a calendar for 170 days. So when you take those two statutory requirements within the days that we have within the calendar, there are not a lot of options with flexibility. Where the flexibility does lie, the committee wanted to hold true to two things. We want our 2 full weeks at winter break, and we want out before Memorial Day. When we consider the operational impact and the preparedness for getting summer school started and staying within that fiscal year by June 30, then we also were running into, we didn't want to end school on a Friday, come back on a Tuesday to start summer school or have a work day, and then it would kick us all the way into July. So our hands were really tied. I know the calendar committee, we did a really deep dive last year. They spent a lot of time understanding the complexities. It's really easy to look at a school calendar and say, we want all these things to happen. But when you get down and put it together, we're really tied with what we can do. So what is presented to you tonight is we will start school on August 24th. That is a Monday. That is not our preference, but it is the best of what we can do for this calendar. We will end school May 25th. That gives us a few days to get ourselves ready before we turn and start summer school June 1st, running through June 30. The days scattered within the school year are very similar to what you see this year. So I would welcome any questions that you may have, but for the most part, this calendar looks very similar to this year. It's just a much later start than what we would prefer to see.
Dr. Mwangi, I have a question related to how our start date may impact our dual credit at the high school. For example, with Missouri Southern start date.
Yeah, Missouri Southern is on a similar schedule. Their start date, I need to double check their start date. I know our spring breaks line up. I would need to double check the start date though. Let me look at that. Regardless, they would have to, if they start before, they would have to go. We typically line up pretty close on start dates. August 17th, thank you. So they would have a week earlier. That would be your dually enrolled students. That would not count your dual credit because that lines with our calendar within our school. So small number of students. So that does have an impact out of our control, unfortunately. We did line up spring breaks though.
Why do we want to keep summer school out of July?
It does impact retirement. Anyone who is doing summer school that ends up retiring, it's possible that we could, if we had to, we could go. It was the preference of the committee to not go into July, especially after that 4th of July
Which is
weekend.
fine. I'm just curious more than.
It also shortens the window we have to get the building cleaned and ready for the next school year. So
Everything really compounds from when you have to, when you can start, when we have to end, giving us a few days. A week would be preferable between end of school and summer school starting, but then trying to get everything wrapped up before all of our summer projects happen as well. So a lot of moving parts.
PSRS requires a 30-day separation for retirees. And so then when their first check comes, it kind of just compounds all of that, as well as our fiscal year with finance. I mean, we've done it before. There's been a year that we've done it.
It's not impossible.
It's
but
not impossible.
Ideal.
Do you have a motion to approve the calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Robertson, a second by Ms. Musser. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. And our
Okay.
final item is we would like to make a special presentation. Dr. Saketa?
Yep. Okay. So, for the last 3 years, we've had a student advisor to the board. And thank you. And we really appreciate Laylee Ransdell for her work for the school district and especially Joplin High School, but the entire school district, and being president of all our meetings and also providing an update of what's going on in the district. And also your class and professionalism of how you've done it. Thank you very much, Laylee. All that. Sure. Present you with that. And our new advisor, starting next month, is here in the back, Carolyn Lee Sy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, come on up. Tell us real quick what this position interested you.
I'm really excited to represent just student life at Joplin High School and the district in general, student successes, things that we have going on. I'm just really excited to represent the student body as a whole. Thank you.
Oh.
So small. I mean, okay.
I would make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Weaver, a second by Mr. Robertson to adjourn. Please vote.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes.